All car companies on planet Earth want their cars to be sold in China. Reason being is that China is the largest car market on planet Earth, period. No one comes close. That's basically where the most car sales come from anywhere. For any car company or any brand you can think of, they all want their cars to be sold in China. Well, things are starting to change drastically in China. It seems that people are starting to turn their mind around to what they thought was best to have and start buying what is actually better to have. You see, China is a very brand loyal country. Like they like to have things that are brand names or this or that. And there's not really a middle ground like there is in the West, how there's things that are like very cheap or mid or expensive. But in China, everyone's a very brand loyal person, typically. But now the tide is starting to turn, especially when it comes to automobiles. Porsche, a very, very popular brand worldwide, and especially in China, they're starting to have a very bad experience. You see, the Chinese car dealerships that have Porsches are freaking out right now because their sales have been collapsing and they have not really bounced back. It all started during the pandemic. This is where the sales started to decrease and decrease and decrease. And this year alone, they're down 15%, Porsche. So these car dealerships are having to sell their cars at a loss, and they actually are asking for subsidies to get money back from the government because they can't even stay afloat right now. Things are really getting out of hand, and a lot of people think this is just a joke, but people are starting to turn the tide away from gasoline cars and moving to more efficient vehicles like electric vehicles. Yes, that's right. Electric vehicle sales are starting to blow up way more in China, and not only just China, just globally, period. People are starting to recognize that gasoline cars are not really the better option down the line. A lot of people have been fooled into thinking that, of course, because major car companies will tell you anything to keep you inside of their cars. But now the tide is turning drastically, and major car companies that sell gasoline cars are starting to freak out because their sales are being taken by electric vehicle car companies like Tesla, BYD, or any other company you can think of, fill in the blank. But especially in China, the largest car market, they're starting to turn around completely. The sales of electric vehicles in the entire country of China are 48%. People thought it would take about till 2032 till China was 48%, but it happened way sooner. By 2030, we wouldn't be surprised if the sales of electric vehicles are probably up towards 95%. And there's a lot of people saying, no, that's not going to happen, a lot of pushback. But hey, you know what? We'll see, because the records keep getting broken from what is expected to happen. Like I said, people are starting to recognize and open their eyes to what is available, and people are turning away from the expensive gasoline cars and turning to the more affordable electric vehicle cars that are actually way better, get more value. So what are you going to do? Are you going to keep buying a gasoline car? You probably will. But guess what? Years from now, the majority of cars that are sold are going to be electric vehicles.